working on an activity. On the calendar, it's called the See Here activity. And it goes along with this worksheet that says statistics problem solving process. So have that one in front of you, and we will get started on it together. Number one, ask a question of interest about something that varies. This is the process you should go through for a good experiment. Number two, produce some data. We will be doing number one and number two today. Y'all didn't get a worksheet? Gotcha. Thank you for letting me know. Sorry about that. Everybody have a worksheet? Did I miss anybody else? Okay. So we're going to be doing step 1 and 2 today. We're going to look at a question of interest, and then we're going to get some data about it. We're going to produce some data. Number 3 and 4 is probably going to come on Thursday when we can actually look at that data, look at a graph of that data together, and kind of discuss it and analyze it at that time. But it says you're going to analyze and describe the data, including graphs. Number 4, conclude the answer to the initial question and interpret the results. Confucius said, I hear and forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. So we're going to be looking at the hearing and the seeing aspect of that. Do I remember better when I hear something, or do I remember better when I see something? Are we different? Do some people do better when they hear, some people do better when they see? I don't know. We're going to look at some data and see what happens. So the question of interest, do people remember what they see better than what they hear? We want to produce the data. So you're going to get with a partner. I'm going to ask that you just work with the person eye to eye across from you. Okay, that's going to be your partner. It's going to be easier to work across than it is next to for this activity. You decide who's going to go first in remembering. So one of you is going to have to see and hear first, and then the other person's going to have to see and hear. And so you decide who's going to go first. I don't care. That's just, it doesn't have to be random. One of you is going to go first. But the next piece of it, we need to have a random component in how we assign whether they're seeing and hearing first. We're going to learn throughout our creating studies that you always want to have a random assignment of things. That random component in experiments is important, okay? So each partner will do 2 remembering tasks, seeing and hearing. Both tasks involve remembering 10 pairs of numbers given to you on 2 index cards, which I have in my hand, and I'll give them to you in just a minute. Do not look at the numbers until you begin the task. So you're going to keep them turned over on your desk. You're going to flip a coin. This is where our random component comes in, our random assignment. You're going to flip a coin to tell to see which task will be done first for the first person. If you flip a head, then you're going to do the hearing task first. If you get tails, then you're going to do the seeing task first. I actually got a bonus yesterday and was left with 8 cents on the desk from this activity. Woohoo. I took it as a tip. I don't know. But anyway, I have 4 little coins if anybody doesn't have a coin that people left yesterday that you can borrow to flip your coin at your table if you need to. So how do we do this? Number 2, you're going to randomly choose a card while face down to each for each task. Perform both tasks in the order specified by the coin task. So if you choose a card and you use it for seeing, don't use it between your partners again. Because if you remember some of the numbers from the seeing, you don't want it to affect the data from your hearing or your other partner's data. So I'm actually going to put 4 cards at each table, and so you should be sharing among the 4 people and, you know, only use 1 each time. Seeing task, you're going to study the number on the card for 30 seconds. We're actually going to use the little timer, the little clock on the board. Hopefully your partner will keep time for you. So you're going to be looking at the little paper, and they're going to just watch the clock and tell you when 30 seconds is up. If you have a watch, you can, use your watch, but I figured most students don't have one, so we're just going to leave that there for you. And you can watch your seconds there, because unfortunately, the Mickey Mouse clock in the back, it works, but it doesn't have a second hand. And isn't it cute? Okay, anyway. So you're going to study the numbers on the card for 30 seconds. Your partner should time you. Then you're going to give the card to your partner, and you're going to recite the alphabet. That kind of just wipes your brain out and says, okay, do you really remember this stuff? And so you just say A through Z, actually say all the letters, and then after you've said A through Z, you tell the partners what you think the number pairs on the card are. Your partner should record how many pairs of numbers you recalled correctly. So we're not going to use this one, but the first numbers are 5 and 9. So if they tell you 5, 8, then you get an X for that. Even though they got the 5 right, too bad, you've got to get both of them right. Okay, so 5, 9, 0, 8, 3, 7, like you're going to try to repeat that to them, so we won't use that one. For the hearing task, your partner, and this is where it gets really tough in class because you can hear the other people calling out the numbers, so it does make it a little difficult. But your partner will read the pairs of numbers on the card aloud to you 3 times slowly. Then you will recite the alphabet aloud again, and then, you recite the numbers back to them, the pair of numbers, and they have to record how many you guessed correctly. You want to switch roles and repeat steps 1 through 3. That's as far as I want us to get today. I want you to write down on your sheet how many pairs you remembered. If we have time after everybody's done it, I'll call each person's name and ask you to give me your numbers, because I'm going to put them in a Google sheet and we're going to analyze them as a class. You're not going to have to do that just within your pairs. Any questions about this activity? Does it make sense to everybody? Okay.